Now then, if you want to be able to set sail, just head on over to the steering wheel and bada bing, bada boom, we be sailing, boys and girls. Now then, let's see. I think it would be wise to take on the Crusher from the depths first. Actually, no. It would be wiser to take on Deep Sea Danger. And then we'll take on Crusher from the depths, and then battle on the high seas. And I think that's the order of which you really should be doing these objectives in, because if you don't, then when it comes to doing the battle on the high seas, that's when things really start to get interesting. Also, when it comes to the pirate battle, you don't have to do every single one that you see. In fact, you can just flat out ignore them if you want. But it would still be a good idea to take on as many of these as possible. Because if you don't, then you're not exactly going to be making a whole lot of money. Oh, crap. Oh my god. Really? Also, I'm pretty sure that the ship cannot be repaired in between battles, so whatever health you have is what you're going to have.
Great shot!
Excellent. Oh, and by the way, if you want to board the ship, then you're going to need to get as close as humanly possible to the ship and then jump off. Just remember, if you run out of health, you will die. And one more thing too, if you are battling multiple ships at the same time, then you can only board one ship. There you go, sit down, son. Oh dear. Come on, really? Anywho, if you couldn't tell, you should definitely prioritize attacking the captain above all else. And that's another thing when it comes to plundering the treasure ships and stuff like that, or just other ships in general. If you manage to take down the ship and capture it, then you'll be able to make some serious cash. And as I've mentioned before, it is the best way of making money in the entire game. But we'll be able to do so much more efficiently once we upgrade our cannons. Because believe it or not, our cannon fire, it can take down a ship in one shot if you know where to hit them. Oh dear. And by the way, if you do sustain damage, be sure to quickly patch up the damage as quickly as you can. Because if you don't, then you're going to be in a load of pain. It's going to be problematic, to say the least. And try not to get yourself surrounded by enemy ships. If you do, you're going to have a really bad time. So try to take on ships one at a time and just do what you can. Also, the charge time for all the cannons are individualized. So in other words, it takes quite a while for each and every cannon to recharge. And you'll be able to tell which cannons are ready to fire again just from the smoke. Dang it.
Our joists have splintered.
Don't worry, we'll get it patched up nice and quick. Thankfully, patching up the different holes that happen to appear after you sustain damage is really simple. You just have to run up to the hole and just whack it with your cane, and bada bing, bada boom, the patch is gone. Or the hole is gone, rather. And thankfully, Sly is always running whenever you're in these pirate battles, so keep that in mind. Oh my god. Honestly, when it comes to doing this part of the game, this is probably this is like one of the most fun aspects of the entire episode, in my opinion. So having, like, the upgraded attacks with, like, level 2 and level 3 respectively, definitely well worth the investment. Trust me. Okay, how the hell did that work? You can also make some serious cash this way, too, because whenever you take down an enemy captain, you'll be able to steal whatever treasure they have in their current possession. Which, again, allows you to make some serious cash. Okay, on to our next destination. After another pirate battle, of course. Oh, nice miss. I mean, I did get a few clean shots in, so that's all fine and dandy. But even so. Still kind of blows that we couldn't quite deal maximum damage. Same with that. Again, lining up your shots perfectly is it's kind of difficult to do. But it doesn't mean that it's impossible. I'll tell you that much right now. And unfortunately, there are going to be times in which you're going to sustain so much damage that you're going to lose firepower. Which, yeah, that's kind of bad if that happens. You gotta love it when you're forced to move really, really slowly just to get to the enemy ship. But like I mentioned before, time and time again, it's always worth it to board the enemy ship and take down the captain. Don't worry too much about the other guys, just focus on taking down the enemy captain. Once the enemy captain is down, then the battle is won. And goodbye. Bazinga, baby. We done. Another ship captured, and we got even more moolah. Again, like I said, I really do love these battles so much. They're so much fun. And like I said, these are the best. It really is the best way of making money in the entire game. Just again, make sure that you're more than ready to take these guys on. And if you sustain too much damage, then it would be wiser to just try to avoid combat for a while, until you can eventually heal yourself, which, of course, that's going to be easier said than done. There might be some health crates scattered around the ocean, but the odds of finding one are pretty damn low. Even so, it's still worth it. Still worth battling as much as you possibly can. I'm kind of surprised I managed to make that. By the way, if you couldn't tell, having the upgraded spin attack is an excellent attack to have for crowd control. So, what it will do is that it will send any enemies that are coming your way flying in multiple directions, if you couldn't tell. Dang, 1704 in terms of coin count. That's pretty impressive. And I think we started at roughly 900 coins, too, so that's pretty dang sweet, if I do say so myself. I haven't really gotten around to mentioning this yet, but I do apologize for the lack of streams over the past week. Also, before we start the next battle... Okay, never mind. I guess we're going to start now. I was kind of hoping that we could have waited just a wee bit. That way I could have grabbed the health box just before we started the battle. That way I could have had just a little bit more firepower. But alas... couldn't quite help that. Now, fire. There we go. Beautiful. Oh, and by the way, there is a miscellaneous trophy in terms of being a pirate. However, we won't be granted the opportunity to go for said trophy until the episode is complete. And once it is, that's when the real fun begins. And when I say fun, I mean, obviously, diving back in and making even more money. But of course, we'll worry about that when the time comes. For now, we got some work to do. Bye! Bye! Oh, and by the way, throwing the enemy captain into the water, it doesn't deal any more damage versus just attacking them normally. So be sure to keep that in mind. I mean, it's excellent for crowd control, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, not something that you can really 100% count on in terms of getting kills. I need to go the other way. Also, get used to me bringing up the map repeatedly. Because navigating through the seas around here, around this archipelago, it can be a bit of a mess, to say the least. It also sucks that the health crate is gone. Oh well. We'll make do. We'll make do with what we have. And if we happen to find another one, hopefully we won't lose that one. But I think once we manage to complete another job, then our ship will be fully repaired. So that's something to keep in mind. Well, that's not great. Well, that's my fault for running into that one like a frickin' idiot. Obviously, if you couldn't tell, I will be trying to battle every single pirate ship that I come across. Just because we need all the money that we can get. Also, nice miss. Oh my god, get on the ship, please. Gotta love them invisible walls. There you go. Sit down, son. Also, I'm pretty sure you can't use silent obliteration on that guy. It would be pretty cool if you could, but alas, it is what it is. Let's see. Still need to head towards the right, towards the southeast. I think that's how it is according to the map. Okay, that was a pretty good hit. How'd that miss me? I have no clue, but who cares? The less damage we sustain, the better. Trust me, sustaining damage at this point is pretty damn bad. But even if we end up sinking, it wouldn't be the biggest deal breaker in the world. I think what will happen at this point in the game is we'll just simply respawn back at the previous island of which we were at. Wow, I'm kind of surprised he managed to hit me there. Really? Come on! I swung first. Also, taking a death is also another way of restoring your health, too. Like intentionally throwing yourself into the sharky waters. That is something else you could do if you're desperate. Although I would not recommend it. Okay, here we go again. By the way, when it comes to taking out the enemy ships quickly, if you manage to hit them with all of your cannonballs, then you'll be able to take these ships down relatively quickly. Of course, that is easier said than done, especially if you're trying to wait for the cooldown. And also, if you couldn't tell, taking on more than one ship is not a good idea. Trust me. At this point in the game, taking on more than 2 ships is basically a death sentence. Don't do it. The most we can take on right now is 2. At least within a decent pace. Alright. Now then. One other very nice thing about the ship battles as well is I'm pretty sure once you take down the enemy captain, then Sly's health is fully restored. Just not the ship. Yep, just as I thought. Health is fully restored for Sly. Oh, nice miss. Okay, this is fine. This is not fine. Wow, that was... Wow, that was unfortunate. Oh well, it's fine. At least we made a decent amount of cash, so we can definitely buy at least one ability here. So how about Shadow Power Level 2? It is the most expensive ability that we need to buy yet. So at this point now, we just need 2,800 coins, and then we'll be set in terms of how many coins we need to buy all the abilities right now. And I believe once we get back to the port, then... Oops. Once we get back to the port and back to the mainland, then even more abilities will become available. Maybe. And like I said, taking a death, whether intentionally or unintentionally, is a pretty good way of, oh my god, seriously? Wow. It also sucks that I freaking lost a cannon already. That's really bad. I really wish these things would charge just a little bit faster. But alas, it is what it is. You could take your shots early and just fire whatever cannons are ready to go. And in hindsight, that may not be the worst idea ever, but even so, I wouldn't 100% recommend it. Because obviously, less firepower equals less damage. Oh wow, I missed all 3 shots. Way to go, me. Also, I'm pretty sure if you sail too far out, then the battle is considered abandoned. Thankfully, you don't need to worry about trying to align the correct amount of distance in order to fire your cannons and deal damage. So long as you're lined up with the enemy ship, the cannons will automatically target the ship. However, there is still a good chance that they'll just end up missing and landing in the water. So keep that in mind. And also, the enemy sails have to go down completely in order to even be able to board the enemy ship. I don't even know how this thing is still sailing right now. There we go. Yeah, it's just unfortunate that we had to restart our sailing adventure. Oh well, it is what it is. That's the risk that you take for boarding an enemy ship. Wow, okay, yeah. As you can see, silent obliteration does not work on the captain. Nice. Not bad. Not bad at all. Let's see. Okay. Still got quite a ways to go to head towards the southeast. And fire. Nice. Managed to hit every single shot. Just need to wait for the cannons to recharge. Oh, and by the way, if you are lined up side to side with the enemy ship, that's a pretty bad sign. It means you need to start taking evasive maneuvers. Nice. Another hit. Also, I'm pretty sure that the different colored sails will indicate how much armor these ships have. So in other words, the ships that we're currently battling, the ones that have the purple sails, will take a ton more gunfire before we can take them down. And before we can board them. So, keep that in mind. Well, that stunk. And that's even worse. Great. Just what we need. More unnecessary damage. And as you can see, the ship does have two separate health bars, one for each side of the ship. And if either side happens to go down, then you're going to be in a load of trouble. In other words, if either side runs out of health, then you're sunk. You're filth. You're just going for a swim with the fishes. Really? Kind of surprised that didn't hit him at all. But, irrelevant, I win. Bazinga. Okay, let's keep moving. Let's see. So far, so good. Okay, come on, let's move out of the shore. Well, that took an unnecessary amount of time. I want the health, please. There we go. Fully restored and ready to go.